Majima! Hi everyone. How is everyone today? Is my mic not working? No, it's working. What? Hang on. Is my mic working or isn't the mic not working? Because it looks like mic is working on my end. Okay, so it's just Silver who's silly. Got it. You had me worried, Silver. Hi, Eternal. I eliminate. Yeah, that's that's a skill issue, Silver. Hopefully we don't have many of those today in Blueprints. We'll see how this goes. Wait, how'd you guys explode? What? Oh, is this Battle Royale that I didn't notice? Yeah, it is. Okay. I don't tend to pay attention to the Battle Royale. I'll wait for it to stop and then I'll turn on the uppies thing. I mean, I did see you. I saw you in chat. And Nerf, good job at winning the Battle Royale. Alright. Now we have this one. And uppies should be available now. Yep, okay. Alright, so we'll go ahead and continue Blueprints. Last time we got some books from the bookshop, so we want to try and get those in the library, so we do need to try and pull a library today. If we get outdoor classroom, we're gonna want classrooms. And then, I've already forgotten what our other goals were. Didn't I put them in the description or something? I should go check the YouTube description. What did I say? I don't remember what I said. I don't think you missed anything important, though. I'm just trying to remember what the goal of today was, which was getting library, getting classrooms if possible, and then I think that was mainly it. Oh, we need to get pump room reservoir stuff. So that's the other thing we need to do. So we're going to start with grabbing allowance and heading outside to see if we have classrooms today or not. Because I still want to get to the class 8 or grade 8. And hi, Nerf. Oh, yeah, because you were in chat. Of course I saw you. Do we want tool shed or shelter today? I think we'll go tool shed. Because maybe we can get burning glass or something. No, we just got that and watering can. Oh, we have a friend. I guess I still prefer tool shed a little bit over the shelter. Do we want to go down and get the thingy pulled ahead of time? Yeah, I think I will. I think we'll go down and pull the lever. That'll also let us double check where the reservoir is at. We're not going to be able to go up through the antechamber because we don't have the key card to do that. So that's not possible, but it's still useful. Ooh, Planet Coaster is fun. It has been a while since I played that game. Though I think I prefer Planet Zoo over Planet Coaster. It just has a cozier experience. Okay, so I guess we didn't set reservoir at all last time. I thought we had. Oh, we did it on the one where it broke, didn't we? Okay. Well, that's fine. We at least know what we're trying to do. Oh, Planet Coaster 2 I haven't tried yet. I have not gotten that one.
Hey Cat, this is Blender. Go ahead and save before I crash again.
We unfortunately can't save in this game. It has to just be at the end of day, which is why it's so much struggles when the game breaks on you. Hopefully it doesn't do that again today. And we got the We got that one. So that one's done. But we haven't gotten what the other two are. Mark those off. And then... Were those always there? That's weird feeling. We'll go get the gem thingy that's over there. Spin, and then spin until it gets the other one. I think it's that one. And hi, Thaddeus, how you? It's so quiet in this room. Yep, we did get the right one. Put in that one. Grab that. Look at the cool castle. Wait, is there any, like, rune thingy there? No, there isn't. Okay. It's not, like, on that one either? Nope. Now we just need to make our way to the lobby, or the main entryway. And then we can start on the day proper. No classrooms today, so it'll be looking for book and... I forgot what else we're gonna try and do today. I suppose we could still try and get burning glass. Oh, pump room. Pump room was the thingy. It's steep down there. It's a big drop. Pizza is yummy. What type of pizza, though? What is everyone's favorite kind of pizza? Because I just had pepperoni pizza. This game really does go deeper than just door 46. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Whole lot deeper. I still don't even know how deep it is. We're just kind of swimming through it. Though we've already gotten like all of the letters, but there's still more that we're uncovering. We'll start to the Banner of the King. What room color is library? Do we remember? Should be in room directory. I think it's just a blue room, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay. So I think we want to prioritize blue rooms today. Banner of the King. Blue. Pretzel crust pepperoni with cheese sauce. That does sound interesting. I've never tried that one. Oh shoot, what did we need the power hammer for again? There was something I needed the power hammer for. Oh, the secret garden. We could try and get the secret garden today, but I don't know about that. Let's grab it. Coat check this early isn't terrible. So then we'll go this way next. So we could either get another dead end and get a package, or we could get office. But that would spend 2 gems already. think we'll go office. Because we do get a gem back here. And then, was there anything else that we needed to grab from here? I think we'll wait to spread money. So we'll exit. Walk-in closet, conference room, library. I do really want library, but that's a terrible spot for it. I think I'm gonna go conference room. That'll better help for spreading stuff. What? Where? Is it on the table? No? Oh, right there. Oh, vault key. Alright, we'll go this way next. So we can rotate floor plans. I don't remember anything super special in there. But it is better than dining room this early. So I guess we'll get Dovecote. We don't have a shovel. We do get some coin. I think, yeah, this is just letters. Some more lore stuff. Attic is actually really nice in that spot. But music room could, in theory, get us the secret garden key, which is what we want. And I see you there, Eternal. I think I want to do attic here. Hey! Rude. There we go, got it off. Coin purse. Magnifying glass. So we now have everything for the burning glass. We now have another safe deposit key. And coins, lockpicks. Coupon book. And what's up, Silver? Thank you for the scritches. I like scritches. Right, we already read this one, because the thing was too political. And let me double check our notes. Bishop should also include attic. Two T's. There we go. Alright, I think we got everything. I think that was all of them. Oh, hang on. I don't... Oh, I think this is, Simon and other child. I don't know where he's pointing, though. See anything else up here? I think that's it. So no shovel. We've got full pockets, though. That is a funny number of things in our pockets. I think before before we go the other way, let's pop back in here. Do the spread money. Spread gold in the estate. Spread gold now. Turn to main menu. What does running payroll do again? Okay, payroll has already been run this week. So we've done everything that we can, I think, in here. We'll double check. Yeah, it's just log into network. Nice, nice. So we'll get the crazy amount of money. You know, I kind of hope that we get the showroom today with how much money we've gotten right now. Man, we are this early into the run and we already have 64 coins. That is a little bit silly. There is a chance for a freezer. This is risky. We're definitely going security here. I want to get more gems. Hopefully we can get the vault. But we are pulling blue rooms today, so it is possible to get a freezer. If we choose that, we're dead though, so we're definitely going security. Let's see, was there anything else we forgot in the rooms? Okay, nothing. We've got everything. Keycard system. System settings, set offline mode to unlocked. And then set security level. We'll currently set it to low because we've got the lockpick and what else do we have? Oh, we have something else. And we've got the lockpick set though. We don't have keycard. So that's good for that. That should be that settled then. Oh, we do have 2 keys, but they're vault keys. Now, hopefully we get something that gives us options. Okay, boiler room. I think that's actually exactly what we want here. Actually, no. We don't really want boiler room. It gives us more options, but that doesn't... That wastes a gem. Yeah, the foundation isn't very deep in it. No lab experiment from logging into the network? We don't have a lab right now. No lab experiment is running. We only have office and security. Is YouTube not showing up on stream chat? I guess it's not. Alright, let me fix that. This one. And then it is restream bot all one word that needs access again. There we go. That should work. I think I'm leaning library, because that is one that we really wanted. And now it's doing it twice. Okay. Maybe it was functioning before and I was just not seeing it. Let me go remove that again. There we go. That should be re-updated, and this time I will test. And now it's not showing up at all. Oh, no, it is. Okay, it's just delayed. Why are you green? 'Cause it is. I don't know why you're green on YouTube. We'll go library. Because library is one of the ones we really wanted. And we apparently get a gem from here for some reason. I don't know why. It's a Black Bridge curse. We are the first one to check it out because we bought it. But it even says we bought it. Forward, the legend of Black Bridge is one that's well known to the people of the Grand Realm, for versions of this tale have been passed down from generation to generation. With each new telling, the story has changed, becoming, over the years, more colorful, more verbose, and, as one might expect, increasingly horrifying. However, with so many renditions and unique personal touches, the task of confining and binding this tale to text seems an ambitious and impossible challenge. Over the course of my research, I've heard dozens of variations of the legend, and while the details would often change, I'm surprised how much of the story's heart remained the same. Yet the more I listened, the clearer it became that there could never be a definitive version of this tale capturing all the wonderful myth of Black Bridge. In the end, I chose to write down what felt the most authentic, the story my grandmother told me as a boy long ago. Part 1, The Berry Picker from Oris. Many years ago, before peace had become a familiar word, there lived a group of rogues so wayward that the locals deemed it appropriate to their number, to call their number the Unholy Hounds. They were feral outlaws composed of society's worst in a time when society was at its worst. And for each crime that fearful travelers credited to the group, a dozen more lay unclaimed, each worse than the last. For the gentry, however, who often value their coffers more than their companions, no crime could measure more wicked than the group's primary enterprise, highway robbery, or high road robbery. One such member of this so-called band of rogues was a boy of 13 years, Jesper, who had not been lucky in life, having lost 2 brothers to war and parents to famine. In the years of hunger that followed, Jesper lived in a gutter behind a churchyard, relying on the nourishment of scurrying bugs and weeds harvested from the cracks of the alleyway to sustain his pitiful existence. It's not surprising that a child aiming to escape such hardships would take any easy road out. An easy and well-traveled road, paved with temptations, led out of the city and into the gentry lands where loose purse strings entwine with the strands of salvation and glisten equally with the hope of opportunity. It was this road that eventually led Jesper to the end of his youth, a hidden cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. It was here that he met his surrogate family and saviors, that notorious gang of godless outlaws known as the Unholy Hounds. Despite the hardened circumstances that led him to this vocation of banditry, Jesper was surprisingly tender-hearted and often teased by the group for being too kind for such an ignoble life. For this reason, Jesper was assigned the innocent role of berry picker. It was not just innocence that set berry picking apart from the gang's more wicked undertakings, for it was the only duty performed without the safety of night's concealment. Jesper, no stranger to solitude, did not protest that he alone worked while others slept soundly, tucked away in a cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. On one such occasion, why'd you turn out my lights? On one such occasion, Jesper decided to get an early start. He left the cave, berry basket in hand, and set out into the woods before the morning sun had even brushed against the tallest treetops. It was colder in the mornings, but the headway dawn afforded meant Jasper could reach the furthest most berry patches without worry of being chastised for tarrying upon his return. Yeah, you're allowed to shower during stream, Silver. Why do you need to ask permission for that? It took over 3 hours on foot to reach his destination, and along the way Jesper had passed by many a familiar bush, all priorly pillaged and so bereft of berries that one would have to dedicate several moments in earnest examination before finding a single one. Jesper was patient, but even patience had its limits. He was confident that, even accounting for the time lost to this long stretch of travel, his efforts would be well worth the pains. Surveying the patches in this new grove surprised even Jasper. The red dots suspended among the leaves seemed as numerous as stars in the skies. Upon seeing such a bounteous sight, he clutched his berry basket tightly and nearly toppled over out of joy. Once he had regained his senses, Jesper quickly made a decision. He would not reveal the location of this newfound treasure. Instead, he would earn the respect of his confederates, who, upon seeing his yield, might attribute the success to hard work. Smiling at his plan, Jesper set off to fill his basket, and was making steady strides in his task when the sound of thundering hooves interrupted him. The shower is not a vacation. Go take care of yourself. A carriage is approaching. The thought of it made Jesper freeze. Had he been so enchanted by his discovery that he had neglected to observe his surroundings? How could a roadway be so close? He ducked down and crept towards the impending sound, hiding behind one of the larger bushes nearby. It was only a moment more before the sound source revealed itself. Within 50 paces of where Jesper hid, an elegant carriage with gold trim came soaring around a corner of trees, led by two beautiful white horses, and conveyed by a stern-looking driver seated atop the vehicle, flaunting the most sophisticated regalia Jesper had ever seen. It was not just any carriage, it was a royal carriage. Even without having ever witnessed such a sight before, Jesper was certain. The sight had so transfixed Jesper that he stood awestruck, unable to tear away as the carriage approached. The little concealment the bush provided was soon proven unequal to the driver's lofty perch. Upon spotting the boy, he pulled the reins with such effort that the noble steed slid to a sudden halt with precise control. "You, boy, get out from behind that bush," he shouted with a rigidity that betrayed a modest amount of fear. "You startled me half to death, coming around the bend of my own drive and me seeing such an unfamiliar face in a place where there ought not to be any face." Jesper quickly contemplated running. The man was much older, and his dress was suitable for courtly behavior, not dashing through bramble and mud. I was picking berries." Jesper raised the half-filled basket up to allow the driver to see the proof of his words. The demeanor of the man suddenly changed. It was a change that Jesper was familiar with. He had many times seen the same stern expression on the most fiendish bandits melt away as he presented with the berry basket. Any suspicions that the driver might have had instantly evaporated, for even the notion of a member of the unholy hounds picking berries seemed farcical. The softened expression even made allowance for a smile. "Berries, eh? Say, you couldn't have picked a better spot for them, could you? I used to pick berries here as a boy." Jesper took his cue to step forward out from behind the bush, proudly brandishing his basket. "I know in what luck I found them. I've only just begun picking, and look at how many I have. It would have taken me fourfold the time back home to procure this number." The driver bent down for a closer look. "And where is your home, boy? Must be quite far?" Jesper replied with a scripted response. A little south of Tanner Fork, just past the burnt woods." "My God, that is far. Couldn't have come all that way only this morning." It was true, Tanner Fork was in the exact opposite direction that Jesper had traveled, and while that response would seem perfectly reasonable to a location closer to Blackbridge Canyon, you could see why it might seem less believable here. I'm glad you enjoyed the bedtime story. "Sir, I have traveled a much further distance for much less profit. I dare say there is no distance yet made by man that would not be worthy undertaking for a prize such as these. Surely you've tasted them for yourself." Jesper felt happier with this response as it seemed to amplify the man's smile. In my youth often, but perhaps I took it for granted, because I because I never had to travel very far. And even then, my father would always drive us here in our carriage, so I'm ashamed to I have never had to walk such a stretch to earn an equal reward. It was Jesper's time to smile. Then let my efforts reward us both today. He raised his basket even higher. A taste in memory of your youth, sir. The driver chuckled and removed one glove, bending over the seat to reach down to the basket. And at the moment his finger touched the first berry, a dagger in turn met his throat, cutting through a superficial layer of skin and drawing blood. Jesper caught the man's startled eyes, and for that taste I will have your purse, sir, in memory of my youth. The driver's arm had gone stiff, his chin raised and trembling, more frightened than he had ever been before. Whether unable or incapable of speaking, he did not respond to the boy. Perhaps he did not think his jaw could afford to be engaged at this particular time. Jesper let the basket drop, freeing his other hand to probe the man's pockets. Do not mistake me, sir. I will not kill you if you give me no cause, though I will admit the thought of taking your carriage and leaving you the indignity of walking appeals to me. Unable to find a purse in the man's coat, Jesper pivoted to search the seat under him. Why have you no purse upon your person? The driver slowly raised his hand cautiously, pointing towards the carriage door behind him. Jesper lowered the knife's edge a small degree to allow the man to speak, which he did and turned softly. There's a lockbox in the carriage. Well, come down then and grant me the courtesy of sparing your life and binding your hands. A concession I assure you from my tender heart, for it would be much easier to slit your throat. The man started to comply, slowly lowering himself from the driver's seat of the carriage. Once down, Jesper guided him away from the carriage to a nearby tree where he instructed him to get on his knees and put his hands behind his back. Excusing his inexperience, the man indulged Jesper while he figured out how to adequately bind him. The smile and kindness Jesper had seen on the man's face was now nothing more than a distant memory. In their place, cold, dark eyes displaying no emotion. I wonder, should I grant you the same clemency you are showing me? Jesper stopped, surprised by the question, but ignored it, securing the final bindings, and then hastily returned to the carriage. With one hand on the door's handle, he turned back to the man. If there is no lockbox, there will be no clemency. Inside the carriage was surprisingly dusty and unswept, a stark contrast to the elegant and polished golden facade of the exterior. It had apparently been many years since a passenger had enjoyed passage in this vehicle. This all but confirmed what Jesper had suspected. The driver of this carriage was not a liveried servant in the employ of some greater master. Any curiosity that this observation might have had further produced was quickly abandoned upon seeing what rested under the carriage's back seat. A wooden lockbox. Or a large wooden lockbox. Despite its hefty appearance, the box was surprisingly easy to handle. Within a few minutes, Jesper had dislodged it from its hold and carried it out into the sunlight, inspecting the box carefully. 2 observations were made. Totemic symbols carved on all 4 sides of the box, and the box was very old and likely not created by Ordinian hands. It reminded him of artifacts from the old world, and was presumably crafted in one of the ancient realms. Secondly, the box was secured by a rusted yet robust padlock that would not open easily without a key. Jesper looked over to see the driver quietly observing from his indentured position. Do you perhaps have a key you can provide me to open this box? Without emotion, the driver replied, There is no key to that box. Jesper stood up. Easy enough, then. He headed over to a nearby rock of sizable dimensions and lifted the stone up, carrying it back to the box. If there was ever a time when that lock had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. With one hit, the stone had completely shattered the rest of the lock. He bent down and opened the lid. Inside was an effigy, a crude figure chiseled from stone. Without too much deliberation, Jesper bent down and picked it up, somewhat surprised how heavy it seemed given how light the box had felt. Having expected to find something more akin to gold or gems, he looked questioningly at the man, hoping for an explanation. The driver's smile had once again returned. "You are cursed, boy, for deadly is the stone. You have opened that which should never been opened, and you are cursed." Jesper carried the effigy over to the man and shoved it in front of his face. "What is it?" That one, feeling his disappointment rising to anger now. That's one, feeling his disappointment rising to anger now, Jesper tightened his grip on the effigy. "One what, you mumbling agenter? And in God's name, why have you no purse upon your person?" The man did not seem intimidated. "One pace," he paused for effect. 12 more and you will be dead." He only had a second to flinch before the effigy struck him in the head and put an end to his cryptic ramblings. If there was ever a time when the old man had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. Jesper looked down at the sculpted stone figure, now splattered red. Was it cursed? Was he cursed? He had, of course, heard stories of curses, and had never doubted their validity in the past, but now that he was standing face to face with the possibility of being cursed, his mind pleaded with him to be skeptical. And if he was cursed, what difference would that knowledge make? A dozen more paces would not be enough to find another living soul, to say nothing of the chances of procuring a remedy. If he did not move from where he now stood, he may live another 3 or 4 days, more given the abundance of nearby berries, a plan that, if we ignore its obvious faults, might provide additional opportunities for help to come along. But what good would it do? To be discovered here, beside a body, stolen goods in hand, bloated from berries, and raving about a curse that could very well not be real. No, it would most certainly be better to face one's fate now, to take a dozen paces and see if life goes on. But Jesper found his legs unable to make that first step. His mind was unable to convince his limbs to waste 1/12 of his life in a single motion. Feeling desperation sink in, he hopelessly looked about for a solution. And if by some stroke of luck the gods had heard his plea, a miracle materialized before him, as if he found himself suddenly at the end of a fairy tale. 2 white horses and a carriage of gold trim were beside him, the answer to his immediate prayers. He laughed at his fortune and calculated the short number of paces back to the road. 4, perhaps only 3 if he jumped. He made a quick survey to see if there was anything he wished to grab before taking the plunge. He thought about removing the driver's fancy coat, as that appeared to be of some value, but the additional risk of undertaking such a task too great to chance, and so after a profound breath he took his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th steps, though they were quite large. Seated now behind the horses, he reached for the reins, and suddenly realized he was still gripping the effigy. If the curse was real, then it would most certainly be better left here. If, on the other hand, the story was fictitious, there might be some appraisal that could be made of the figure. It was, after all, found within a lockbox whose typical function oft secure objects of value. Having witnessed firsthand the horrors of destitution, Jesper found his mind equally reluctant to allow his hand let go. If it is cursed, I die. If not today, then tomorrow, and if I die, what care have I? And with that statement said aloud, to the horses seemingly, Jesper took up the reins with confidence. How long is this book? I feel like we've been reading for a bit. I'm gonna take a quick water break. Hi, 8-Bit. You've arrived just in time for part 2 of the Black Bridge one.
Eternal 2319 wants cat to shapeshift. Evil gremlin cat. Stealer of raspberries, master of shapeshifters. I call upon thee.
I feel like that's just me. What do you want me to shapeshift into? I appreciate you hating it. Sounds like you've been here for a bit then. Let's see what I can do for that shapeshift before we continue on with part 2. I suppose one thing I could do is just inverted. I guess I'll be inverted for a while. Maybe this is evil cat, I don't know. Alright, so part 2, below the Black Bridge. Miller awoke to some light nudging from a familiar foot. Only one person would have the cheek to awaken her in such ill-mannered fashion. Shaking the sleep from her eyes, she glared up at him in the darkness, but did not say a word. He nudged her again teasingly, then stepped back into the dim. After taking a moment for her eyes to adjust to the darkness of the cave, Miller remembered she was on third watch today. Quietly collecting her things and wits, Miller turned and, as she left, waving to her young friend, who was more than likely already asleep. She crept through the cavern's main passage, careful not to wake the sleeping bandits around her. Like a hero in a book, she often mused. Quietly, she grabbed a bow from the haphazard-formed pile of weapons, shaking the accompanying quiver in the darkness to assess how many arrows it held. She then walked towards the sun-drenched mouth of the cavern, ready to start her shift. Above her was, in one of the few trees found in the canyon, Miller could see that Ravia was already posted. She waved, and Ravia waved back. Calling out to each other was strictly forbidden. Anything louder than a gesture in the canyon was forbidden. When Miller reached the tree, Ravia lowered a braided rope and pointed to the ground behind her. Miller turned, following the finger, and saw a pail of water resting beside a nearby log. She turned back to Ravia, nodded, and secured the pail to the rope. The pail went up first, and in turn Miller followed. Ravia reached across to grab the water. Miller leaned back to give her space. There was not much room for maneuvering in this tree post, a necessary concession for the concealment the outpost demanded. Ravia tilted the pail up to her mouth dramatically, illustrating how thirsty she had been. Miller laughed silently as the water poured out, splashing onto Ravia's face. It was a bit too daring and noisy of a joke, and had the others been around, they would have certainly been scolded for the unwarranted sound. But Miller appreciated the efforts Ravia took to verbalize the silence of that morning. They had been on third watch together for over a month, and during that speechless time their friendship had grown into something special. Affection was unsurprisingly scarce among the unholy hounds. She had felt camaraderie before, of course, but intimacy never. From their elevated vantage, the girls could see both the concealed entrance of the cavern, as well as a clear view of the bridge that spanned across the canyon. Black Bridge was the link between the Gentry lands and the northern mountains. The overpass that connected Oris and Redington to the city-faring travelers of the realm. The bridge was an unavoidable crossing. In the day, the task was to ensure that travelers passed by without stopping. At night, the task was to ensure that they do. Like most of her band, Miller preferred the night. The biting glare of the sun seemed to be tolerable to farmhands and bricklayers, but to a cavern-housed bandit, it was a source of constant annoyance. In the day, there was no shroud to conceal her expressions, nor hide her thoughts. She felt exposed. Ravia touched her elbow and pointed up. Miller, striving to suppress a budding smile, subtly shook her head in response. There were many signs that the unholy hounds used in lieu of words, but 2 of them had developed an extended vocabulary, gestures quietly forged in the shared solitude of their month among the branches. She watched as Ravia shifted, placing her palms flat on the floorboards beneath them. Ravia knew what she was trying to say, but shook her head a second time. It was often more fun to pretend not to understand. Ravia rolled her eyes and turned away, looking back to the canyon, squinting through the leaves. The two girls held still, watching and listening. It was not long till Miller, too, heard the sounds of approach. Ravia held up 2 bent fingers, and a few moments later the 2 men emerged from the bridge's southern end. They were dressed in a familiar uniform, long gray coats with black facings, white waistcoats, and black tricorn hats. They belonged to the local patrol, the Black Guard. Although not an everyday occurrence, their presence at Black Bridge wasn't an unusual sight. It typically indicated an important traveler's impending passage across the bridge, information that the girls would promptly relay to their leaders as soon as the coast was clear. But this report, while exciting, was rarely acted upon. In Miller's 5 years in the Unholy Hounds, she had never once seen a carriage taken in open daylight when the Blackguard was nearby. The men had nearly reached the bridge's northern end when Miller heard the horses, faintly at first but growing louder with each passing moment. Ravia's eyes met Miller's, and the same concern mirrored in each other's expression. They did not sound like the typical carriage, cautiously approaching the bridge to cross. Instead of the familiar crunch of the highroad's gravel, they heard a harsh clattering of hoofbeats against stone. Both girls quickly redirected their attention downwards, looking through the foliage. The sounds were not coming from the highroad, but from the canyon itself. The horses were coming from below the bridge. In an instant, Miller had knocked an arrow and drawn her bow. Go! Ravia was gone before the whisper had even left Miller's mouth. The young scout already sliding down the bank below, racing towards the cave. There was no road that ran below the canyon. There was no reason for numerous horses to be approaching their cave. There was only one reasonable conclusion, and the girls both had reached it instantly. The base had been compromised. This was a Blackguard attack. The moment the horses came into view, Miller let loose her first arrow. She was surprised to see a carriage. She had expected cavalry. Before she even finished processing that thought, her second arrow was in the air. Without a trail, it would be unthinkable for a carriage to traverse such rough terrain. Yet she watched as the wheels jolted over the rocky riverbed. A third arrow was now in flight, and there would be no need for a fourth. The driver slumped over just moments before the vehicle dipped into a small ditch, slamming into an embankment. The fourth of this sudden halt immediately shattered the front 2 wheels and catapulted the driver from his seat. Utterly confused now, Miller quickly glanced over her shoulder to see if any horses were also approaching from the rear. Down in the canyon, the entire horde of the Unholy Hounds came spilling forth from the earth as if hell itself had suddenly sprung open. The group seemed even more bewildered than Miller, half asleep and tripping over one another in a desperate attempt to engage an unseen enemy in combat. Miller could see Arabia among their number, the only one looking up at her. Her expression was chilling. There would be no need for a silent gesture to convey what they both now realized. They had made a mistake. The gang's chieftain, Geoffrey Heartslasher, led the others. I suppose that's Jeffrey, isn't it? Jeffrey Heartslasher led the others, cautiously approaching the crashed carriage like a suspicious fox would near a baited trap. There were no words exchanged as the group crept forward in customary silence. A dozen or so paces in front of the wreckage lay the far-flung driver, an arrow protruding from his broken body, and beside him a blood-stained effigy carved from stone. Miller was inconsolable. Jesper had always been her favorite. He had always shadowed her in the night, clinging to the hems of her every move, the way a child tails behind an older sibling. Tender-hearted, she had always called him, though deep down she had known that wasn't quite true. His appearance of gentleness concealed a raw, resilient durability that emerged in the most perilous of situations. He had been a flower among the nettles of this cave, but he still had thorns, honed by a grim past and 100 hands of misfortune. They buried him in the darkness, in the back of one of the larger cavern rooms. He was interred with a berry basket and a silk handkerchief that he had treasured. The mysterious effigy they had found beside him served as a distinguished gravestone, a marker that stood out as somewhat special among the rows of similar swords marking neighboring plots. No one spoke, not even in whispers. There was nothing to say. Miller woke the next day to a thunderous shaking and rattling of the earth, a far cry from the playful nudging of the previous day. She strained to adjust her eyes, but the choking sting of stirred-up dust caused her to flinch. Panic was also in the air. The sounds of scurried footsteps and clattering feet filled the space around her, but even in alarm, the silence was louder. What was that? What was it that sounded so strange? You have pizza? Very nice. And I do not have a secret plan to eliminate all baked and mashed potatoes. Someone else can have them. Also, I should probably stop the shapeshift now. It has been long enough. There we go. And I'll hydrate again. Miller closed her eyes tight and used her feet to guide her along the passage. The whispers around her were getting louder, and intense voices could be heard ahead, louder speech than she had ever heard spoken in the canyon. A growing dread grew as Miller approached the mouth of the cave, her eyes now open wide despite the dust. Shouldn't it be day? Miller felt a hand in the darkness pulling at her. It was Ravia. The two embraced, and Miller did not need to see her to understand. Ravia placed 2 bent fingers against Miller's cheek, and with that touch against her face, Miller felt the same sinking feeling from the previous day. 2 bent fingers confirmed what Miller had suspected. The girls had forgotten to relay one critical piece of information to the others. An hour or so later, the screams began, blood-curdling cries of hopeless desperation. Captain Fodrick Lee of the Blackguard looked down from the bridge of the canyon to the collapsed entrance of the cave. Ah, he grinned, now they speak. Man, they just buried a bunch of people alive. And I am basically reading a bedtime story, aren't I? And yeah, that is the last page of it. I was hoping to get some password to the terminal in Blackbridge. 'Cause we have the Blackbridge Grotto. So surely one of these pages has something that would work as the password. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna screenshot every page. And we'll try and figure it out. This is going to be a lot of pages of screenshot, but we'll worry about that later. I'll have to reorganize my notes, because I've got so many that are just screenshots from Steam now. I probably need to get them actually loaded in the thing. There we go, that's all of them. Alright, so that is, at the very least, an interesting story. It is a very violent one, though, you are correct. While we're here, let's go check our stats. I've definitely spent a lot of time in the library now today. Let's see. Steps taken. We've got a lot of steps taken. I don't... Yeah, not anything super interesting there. I think other side... Keycard. Power hammer is our most checked item so far. And then It is not past security yet. We've not spent more time in the library than in security, but it might change tomorrow. We'll see. And then, oh, it doesn't put the contraptions, because like the coin purse and the rabbit's foot, I believe, is a combination that we discovered in a buried thing, but it doesn't list here because we haven't made it yet. So that is interesting. We'll continue building our house, and we'll probably have enough steps to go check the Blackbridge Grotto, depending on how this day goes. Workshop, drafting room, drafting studio. I think we'll do workshop here. Drafting room is tempting though. I think we'll go drafting room. Because we get our gem back over here. And then we'll start to the right. Could do observatory. I'm leaning mailroom though. I think we'll go mailroom here. Actually, no. Utility closet's gonna be more helpful for us. Because then we can do the keycard off, turn off gymnasium, and turn on garage. Now we will need to go back to the security, which is only a couple paces away. Because now we can turn on the keycard, or we can turn the keycard thingy to high, because all of them should be unlocked. Keycard system settings, security level, set to high. And then return to security menu, view estate inventory, still nothing new. Wait, what? The second part of blueprints? Did I say that at some point? I don't remember. That's gonna be dead end. Parlor won't be dead end, so I think we'll do parlor here. Now we can grab thingy. Oh, the second part of the Blackbridge Grotto story. Because we were on the part 2. The empty boxes are both true. The empty boxes are both false. This is not an empty box. Okay. So this one's gonna be tricky. If you've gotten the grotto, you don't need to have a lab to get experiments going. Any room with a terminal will do. I thought it only triggers the availability of the computers when they're drawn. I'd love to check, but I don't really want to waste the steps again. We'll worry about that later. Just remind me next time I get to a computer to check if lab is available. Because you can only do it from the lab computer. And hi, Jaden. So the empty boxes are both true. The empty boxes are both false. This is not an empty box. So clearly one of these is true and one of these is false. Well, no, not necessarily. They could both be false, and then this box is true. Because if this box is true, and this is not an empty box, this is a box with gems, then both empty boxes can't be true, so that would be false. And then both empty boxes are false, that would be a paradox, because this would be the other empty box. And if it was false, then it would be true. And if it was true, then it would be false. So that's just paradox. And this game doesn't seem to allow paradoxes in this case. So then, let's assume that this is a lie. So this is, or we assumed that that was a lie. Said that that one was then false. Wait, no. We said that this one's true, that one's false, that one is paradox. So if we say this one is false, so this one is an empty box, then that could be that the empty boxes are both false. Because that one's false and empty. Then this one would be false. Because that is an empty box that is false. So then both empty boxes are false, which would mean that the gems are in this box. Yes! I still have my 100%! Still have completed all of the parlor puzzles. Alright, gallery den is gonna be our better option here. As much as I want to do gallery puzzle, den is just better here. It is a crazy record. It is honestly a bit stressy. Surprised we haven't seen any, like, locked boxes or anything. No trunks. We do want the pool here. Or we do want the pool in general. So I guess we'll get that. Workshop is also tempting, though. But I think we'll go pool. That's a terrible place for the pool, though. Let's do workshop. I want to see if we can save the pool for another spot. Alright. So we can get a pick sound amplifier. Or can we merge coin purse and anything? No. If we do battery pack magnifying glass, no? Okay, so it's magnifying glass and metal detector gets us burning glass. Do we want burning glass or do we want the sound pick amplifier? I don't... That one's tricky. Because we can use the sledge in the secret garden, which I still want to try and get. But we do have burning glass puzzles in the tomb and in the underground. So we do need a burning glass at some point. I think we'll go burning glass. But we don't often get the lockpick. Sound pick amplifier. I think this just does, like, infinite keys, basically. Let's go for the one that we haven't made yet. Greater chance of picking high sensitivity locks. And then, is there anything else that we can merge here? I don't think so. Yeah, there's not. Alright. So now locked doors should be less of a struggle. Yep, immediately opens. We don't need to worry about keys. But garage is open. I think I'm leaning billiards room here. We'll go billiards room. Because there's not much of a reason to do garage right now. No garage door key or anything. Alright, math puzzle time! 12. And then we've got 1, 5, 8, Oh, that's weird. I've never seen blue twice like that. Ooh, billiards room has provided secret garden keys or that would be great. It'd be great if it did. So I think that's 2 plus another 2. So that's 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Minus 10 would be 2. Okay, that is correct. So then we've got 10 minus 2 minus 4 minus 1. So that would be 3. Times 1 times 2 is 6. Alright, and then we've got 4 times 2 times 5 divided by 10 divided by 4. That's just 1. Okay. Dang it! No fancy key. Mailroom, freezer, commissary. Freezer would be nice, but we're not ready for it yet. I think I'm gonna go commissary. I think we'll go commissary. Yes, you should shower now. So now we can get a shovel. And then... So we've got battery pack, shovel, lever. But we're missing... Actually, no, that'll make jackhammer. So we can make another jackhammer. I can't promise that, Silver. Do I want the salt shaker? I'll buy the salt shaker. We've got money. Alright, let's backtrack and we'll go down the den route for a bit. That also lets us duck into this room and make the jackhammer so that we can dig up better items. We've got, like, all the upgraded stuff today. We don't have many steps, though. We're gonna need something for that soon. Silver, don't 1K. Alright, we got a pair of old keys. No, that's not what I mean. Do not go higher with that. Antique silver stopwatch. For the next minute, you will not lose steps when entering rooms, keys when opening doors, or gems. Aw, frick. Okay. So we've got to go. Okay, we're gonna breakfast nook here. That'll get us some more steps. We'll yoink that, yoink that. Keep going. We'll do aquarium. Go this way. Hallway. Use key, I don't care. Get the pool. Don't need to go that way. This one. We'll go pantry. Grab that. Boiler room. Alright, we ran out of time. Alright, not the worst runaround that I could have had for that. We did also get some extra steps out of that. I think going off of the boiler room next is probably preferred. I don't think I'm too worried about what's in the pool, because they don't tend to have super good items in there. So the fact that we got it is enough that we now have a chance for pump room, which is going to be good. Ideally, I want to get, like, a vault off of aquarium, but I don't know if I want to double back there yet. Let's first go boiler room.
Lemonade_Fox wants cat to shapeshift. Made.
Made? Okay. Made. And then... Where's my box? There we go. Let's go... I do that. Is that gonna... flip that? Okay. So now we have access to that. If I do that again... How did I do this before? Right, no. Down. Flip those. Flip that back up. Then it's this one that needs to rotate. There we go. Enjoy your shower, Silver. Mate is already short. Right, this needs to flip. V7 is not going to be for a while. I'm quite happy with V6. There will be actual cat version before there is V7. What was it? No, it was that way. How did I route that before? Oh, I don't need that door on. But I do need that on. It was that one that we need. So we might not have access to the other thing. Unless that just stays open. I think we go archives here. There's also a thing I'm curious about. Because, this is a bit of a spoiler from another stream. I think we'll go with this. Shoot. The only one that is guaranteed to get us there is that one. I don't want freezer. I guess we're doing random and hoping that it links to aquarium. It does not, but we do get a package. So we'll take the package. So we get a sleep mask and a brass compass. I don't really want to point north right now, but okay. I wanna double back to the aquarium, because there was something that was shown in the stream that we rated last time we played Blueprints, where they found a thing, and I want to see if I can see it without doing what they did. So I guess we're gonna walk back. I'm not gonna worry too much about the steps, because it's not super far. This one. Oh, and we can water and cannon here to get a gem. Dig that up. So we got a coin. I think there was also another dig spot in the foundation, but we'll worry about that later. Where was it? Because there was like an X on the ground of this tank. I know there's nothing in the bedroom, I don't think. It was in... No, there was something in the bedroom. I don't remember what it was. But I know there's an X that's right in front of this washing machine. The chat had said that you should be able to see it while the tanks are filled, but that it's just harder. But I don't see it. And I thought it was in the middle one that it had the X in front of. And then... No, was it the arrow? Because there were two X's and an arrow. I think it was the arrow pointing at that middle one. X in front of the washing machine, I remember. And then maybe it was an X in the bedroom? I don't remember where, though. I don't think we've done bedroom today, either. We'll have to keep that in mind. I shouldn't smell red. I am blue and orange. And we'll go back to the thingy. And then we'll go this way first. Sound amplifier. Okay, so that carries on power. We don't know what that is. There's a good chance that that's going to be a dead end. But I think I'm going to go with it. Dang it. Alright, we lost half our steps here. But this is not the worst room to pull for this, because this does have lever. So we now have access to the 46th room. And we can get possible... I don't think that's going to be possible. So that'll just put keys in the conference room, which might be useful. It also lets us unlock more lockers and see what's in there. So I think we'll do that one. I keep forgetting that we keep accidentally hitting the back of that. Get some extra steps. Nothing in that one. More coin. We can also buy more keys at the commissary. That's another thing we could do. Moonshine. Where is the rumored room 46? Connection to a moon. Theorize possible locations north of the chamber, below the foundation. Full house of 45 rooms. Back room? What does that say? Plus. Boardroom? Secret door and tomb. Doesn't exist. Red herring leaning towards this grotto. We'll take a picture of that. Use this one. Coin. Okay. Those are still unlocked, nothing in them. Bunch more to open. I do definitely want more steps if we can get it. We'll start this way. Sound amplifier. Walk-in closet gives 4 items that carries on power. So the rooms left that will carry power currently are the furnace, the lab, the what is it? Oh, the laundry room. Laundry room's possible. I don't know what else does. So that is likely one of those 3. I think we'll go walk-in closet. I'm feeling like this is turning into an item run. So we get our thing back. We also have telescope. So if we get an observatory, that'll be great. Oh, some hallways also do the power. Alright. Did Russell not speak during that one? He did not. That's odd. Let me double check. Is the alert box set up correctly? Yeah, he has set up. Let me do a quick test. I think my alerts are broken for some reason. Because that should have shown up on stream, but the test didn't. I did notice that chat looked like it was off entirely before stream, which is why I did the test messages in chat. So we'll reset that, do another test. Oops. If I do touch bits. Nope. Why is that not doing that? Try this again. There we go. Okay.
Kevin
He's
sent
working
100 to say, this is a test bit alert for.
So hopefully Russell sticks around now. Sorry he did not read your message earlier. Alright, resume day 40. Now we want to head north.
Eternal 2319 sent 5 to say. I
think we'll go drafting studio here. Continue. Classroom, clock tower. I think I like clock tower. I don't really want solarium. I should pick it up at some point just so that we see it, but I think clock tower is the one that I want here. Alright, so how many steps is it actually currently back to the coat check? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're getting close. Because we need to get back to the coat check in order to put back at least one of these things. I think we'll carry on one more. I said the thing? What did I say? Oh, I can't pick that door's lock. Luckily we have a key. Do we immediately want to see the clock tower? That seems a little silly though.
Eternal 2319 sent 5 to say, what's your favorite shapeshift?
My favorite shapeshift? I don't know. I like a lot of them. They are all things that I've worked hard on. I think just because of the hat, winter is my favorite. Because it's just cute floppy hat. It's so cute. Thank you for reminding me that we were past time on the shapeshift so I could get out of it. I'm gonna redraw floor plans here. Observatory. What does telescope doing here? Gain an additional effect of each constellation observed in the observatory. Let's see what constellations we have first. Twins, pair of chests added to the entrance hole. Apples are extra delicious. Rooms with 4 doors are more common. We got a diamond. And we got more diamonds. Alright. So I'm going to hold off on the telescope until we get the planetarium if we do. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, I think we might have to run back to the coat check now. Because one more and we won't make it. Which is a shame. But I think it's what we have to do. Because I'd rather not lose all the stuff we have. One thing we can do before we carry on. Okay. So, pump room is what we were wanting. Question is, will that screw us? So if we go into pump room, that drops us to 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. What? Why am I counting up? So 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did I miscount? Or is that 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yeah, I passed on dining room earlier. So we're gonna end with 1 there if we just head straight there. So... Ah, that sucks. That's one of the things we really wanted. But if we get that today, we're going to lose what's in our coat check, and we have some good items in our coat check. We can get Pump Room on another day. So I think I'm gonna skip that one. Would it be fast to go through the Foundation underground? Because that would be... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Underground is counted as 1, so 8. Then you have to go outside, 9. Up the stairs, 10. 11, 12. I don't think so. I think it's equal, currently. If we were right on the Foundation, it might be faster. But not really. Because outdoor is split into multiple rooms too. The down by the elevator is one and up by the fountain is another. So I don't think it's fast to go through the Foundation. We could redraw floor plans here, see if we get lucky with a dining room. And there is a chance that it does, but if it doesn't, we're screwed. Because we don't normally pass through the Foundation. So I think I'm going to redraw and hope for a dining room. Or a kitchen. No. 2 gem archived with power. Can't be kitchen, can't be dining room. So we're just going to plop down laboratory, because we can trigger that. We can trigger the computer from lab. Oh, I should have not done that, so we could see if it was still pickable from the computer and security when we passed through. But oh well. We know for certain right now it is. And then I'm gonna turn this, since we're not going that way anymore, so that we have access to the thingy. There we go. So now red box is powered. And then pantry to hallway to aquarium. Aquarium to breakfast nook. We already got the one in the aquarium. Breakfast nook. Den, parlor, dining room. Or den, parlor, drawing room. Only bite people with consent. Parlor, drawing room. Through the library. Okay, we'll be fine. So state inventory. There are 6 keys in the conference room, 2 trunks in the main hall, so that makes sense. And then log into network. Swan song, password accepted. It's kind of late to start a thingy, but we'll still try it. Terminals. Yeah, so like we don't have the shelter. So we don't have access to the shelter. But we do have access to the laboratory. Oh, I think I know. I've realized what you're talking about with the Black Bridge. Because you were saying that the Black Bridge... I can try shelter? Shelter is currently offline. Using a Black bridge connection. Oh, you can only connect one offline terminal per day. Okay. That makes sense. I've never tried that before. That's good to know. Experiment setup. Continue with experiment. Alright, so 10 steps gain 20 gold is gonna kill us. We'll do immediately permanently add 1 gold to an allowance, I think. Combine those. Start experiment. It would have been good to get a freezer as like one of the last things, because we have so much gold. Oh well. Let's open these. More gems. Gem and a silver key. Alright. So we made it here in just the right amount of steps. Check item. What do we want to check? We have so much stuff today. I think I'm less worried about... I don't know what the wall in the secret garden is fully. I know... I thought I knew a little bit about it, but I don't know enough. I don't remember what it was, to say the least. Don't all try and get on my shoulder at once. But I think the... Where is it? Do we not have the burning glass? Am I blind? Oh, right, we didn't make the burning glass. We made the pick sound amplifier instead. So do we want that? Do we want the jackhammer? Or do we want the power hammer? I don't know on that one. Power hammer is what we had in there before. Power hammer we know a use for. I wish we could have used the vault keys, but the vault would have killed us quickly. 1, 2. It looks like I'm drinking Eternal. I'm gonna move Eternal. You're gonna go up here. Actually, no. You're gonna get on my shoulder too fast if I do that. There you go. I did learn. I think I want to put in the power hammer. Power hammer. We'll go with that. And then there's nothing else we could do, unfortunately. We're just gonna walk in and trigger the end of day. That was quite an eventful day. Corporate house of cogs. Because we have conference room, office, and mail room. Yeah, that does sound like a corporate office. And then 5 mechanical rooms on top of that. 2 new rooms. Does that mean that we got all the thingies? No, because we haven't seen the other ones. How did we get 2 new rooms today? I don't know. Good luck on your dare run. Never tried one of the dare runs. Alright, so now we start with 29. The other thing I need to be more mindful of is actually throwing coins in the well. There we go. Burb! Ooh. Oh man, we got 3 good choices here. Tomb, schoolhouse, or shrine. I think I'm gonna try... I'm between tomb and schoolhouse currently. Because schoolhouse, we do want to do the classroom challenge. We haven't gotten all 8 yet. But if we get a burning glass, we can get the tomb stuff going. Which is tempting. I think I'm gonna make the priority be... I think let's do schoolhouse today. Just because I want to try that again. We can always try tomb after we have the burning glass and set it to black rooms. So we'll do schoolhouse today. Which, the classrooms are blue, so we want to encourage blue rooms. Or we could do orange rooms again, because that did work fairly well. I think we'll do blue. We still need to try and see if any of the words from the story work in the terminal in the Black Bridge Grotto. But I don't know if we want to do that right this second. Actually, why am I even going down here? We're not trying to get to room 46 today. This is kind of a waste of steps. I'm already doing it. So we'll go flip this thingy. And then we'll go get the key, or the gem that's there. Early gem is always useful. Though I do need to be mindful of if this actually takes steps to do. So we've got 61 right now. I thought this was all the same underground or underpass thingy. There we go. And we've still got 61. Yep, still 61. Reservoir is its own thing. 59. No, it was definitely archive, wasn't it? Yeah, because there's no shelf, no bookcases in here. It's 57 here. Oh, I guess that is only one. I thought that was two for some reason. But it is still several. Why are you back? And why are you red now? Do I want to try Blackbridge Grotto? That's gonna be like 4 extra steps. But I want to know what it does. We'll try it. I can ask someone why they're red. That usually means that they've gotten sunburned. Alright. So admin key. Do we have any idea from the story that was read earlier? I just tried shot in the dark from other note. Let's see. Effigy? I think that was regarding the cursed box that's in the shrine now, though. But we can try it. So not effigy. Let's try Blackguard. Not Blackguard. Fodrick Lee. Not that. Any personnel? I mean, we just read the entire Blackbridge Grotto book, which Captain Fodrick Lee was of the Blackguard. Miller was one of the people in the thingy. I don't think it's Miller, though. Ravia. Oops, that's not how you spell Ravia. Ravia. Not Ravia. Personnel that work on the mansion. I don't know if I've noted down any. I know I've seen their names, but I hadn't thought to write them down. Let's see. Where is... Jesper? Not Jesper. I'll still try the other names from the book just to see. Don't think Tenderhearted's gonna be anything. Not Heart Slasher. Not Jeffrey. We've tried password 123. We've tried that one before. I'll try the word unholy, but I doubt it. Yeah. And unholy hounds is too long. What else? I don't think the coachman was ever given a name. I believe we've tried blueprints before, but I'll try it again in a second. Yeah, no. I didn't think blueprints would be it. How about, the name of the author of that book? Redford. I mean, you're welcome to look it up. Don't tell us, though, unless I ask for hints. I assume that the hint that Ray was giving is that it's someone from the manor. Which means that I should probably go look at the emails in the office and write down the names of who sent those. I also still don't know what this 1100 is for. Should actually make sure I have a picture of that too. There's multiple passwords? Alright, good to know. But I didn't see any in the book, which is a shame, because I thought it would tell us admin password. But I didn't see any. Unless there was something obvious in that book. So for now, we'll just head back, go to class, try and sort through stuff. Start to the right. Start with pantry, I guess. Immediate classroom, or do we do library first? I'm tempted to do library first. We'll do library. Because there was the other book that we bought last time. I'm gonna say no, because that would require me setting something up that isn't there before, but you can put it in the suggestion box in the Discord, or I believe we have a thingy for the cat token shop on the Discord. I believe that was an option there. Let me double check that. If not, I'd definitely be happy to add that as an option for people to buy something that they could freaking turn on temporarily on stream or something. Cat token shop. Yeah, 15 tokens request a stream prop. So that would be under that. So we got Curse of Blackbridge last time. A new clue or Realm and Rune. I think I want to see Realm and Rune. That's the one that's more a puzzle that we've been trying to do. So we'll do that one next. Now I'm curious. Did we spend enough time in here last day to bump up the library stat? No, not yet. We've not spent more time than in security. Alright, we'll go this way. I think music room is what I'm leaning towards here. Prism key isn't really what I wanted, but I guess I'll take it. I think we'll backtrack to the other direction. I don't want to head too far north. Oh, I forgot to check. So we've got 1 of 8 of Trophy of Sigils. We've got 105 of 110 rooms, so we still need to get more of the rooms that we haven't drafted before. I think we got closer last time, but then it just didn't, because it broke. We've got 37 of 40 parlor games, and lots more bullseyes to do. I don't like conference room this close to the entrance, so we'll start with the classroom. Coin. So we've already checked out grade 1 plenty. Parlor. Did we already have 3 of those? I guess we did. Alright. Time to see if we can do another parlor puzzle. Let's see how complicated this one is. The gems are not in the black box. The statement is true as... The statement is as true as the statement on the black box. The gems are in the white box.
I sure do feel like crashing soon. Be a shame if you saved your progress or something.
Okay, that's a weird one. So, this one, if the black box is true, then it has to be as true, so it would be true. But if the if the black box is false, then it can't be true, but having it be false would make it true. So, by that logic, the only way for this box to not be a paradox is if the black box is true. So you've got true, true, and then... But that would make that one true. So, because the gems... If the black box is true, then the gems are in the white box, which means that the gems aren't in the black box, which would make everything true, which isn't a possibility because at least one of them has to be false. How does that work then? Where do we get the false box from? So assume that box is false. Assume the gems are in the black box. Then, if that box is false, then this box would be false because the gems are not in the white box. So then if this box is false, then this box would have to be false in order to be true. Or make it, or it being true would make it false, because then you've got one true and one false. How the frick does this one work? So that box can't be false. That box has to be true. And then it's just a matter of, is this one true or false? Because we know gems aren't in the black box. Wait, what? Yeah, that one has to be false. That one then... Because that one has to be true. So we've got false, true, then this one... Wait, what? Gems are not in the black balls. Okay, not in the black vaults. Not in the black box means true. And if this one's true, then that one's true. Which means this one... What the heck? Hang on, how am I getting lost on this one too? I'm good at these. Okay. So gems... If that one's false... I'm trying not to break my streak. If that one is false, that one's false, then that one has to be false. Because but that's paradox, isn't it? Because that's the... You have the answer to this one? Okay, well, it's at least a bit reassuring that someone has the answer. I'm just struggling to wrap my head around it, and I think if I don't answer it, it's going to be back the next day. I think that's how these work. I don't know, though. Because I think this one's gonna come up again. So the gems are not in the black box. The gems are in the white box. And the statement is as true as a statement on the black box. Lemonade, does the wiki tell you which box the gems are in, or does it tell you which ones are true and false? Because I don't even fully care about which box the gems are in at the moment. I just want to understand the logic of these. Okay. So that's a struggle then. if this box is true, gems are in the white box. So that's just saying that those two are the same. That's all it's saying. So then one of these has to be between the gems are not in the black box and the gems are in the white box. What combination of the three boxes would make one true and one false? So that would be the gems being in the blue box. The white box is, this statement is as true as the statement on the black box. So if the gems are in the blue box, then the gems are not in the black box is true. The gems are in the white box is false. And this statement is as true as the statement on the black box. So that would be 2 false, 1 true. I think that's the combination. I think that's the only option. Because we already proved that if it was in the black box, then the gems are not in the white box. And that one is false. Wait, then all of them are false. So if they're in there, it's all false. If they're in white, then it's true, true, and true. So it needs to be true. Gems are in this box, so not in the black box. False because they're not in the white box. And that is as false as the black box. So it's going to be blue. No, I got it wrong! Shoot! That hurts! How did I get that wrong? Okay, hang on. So we'll close that again. They're supposed to be in the white? But if it's... How would that make the white box false? Because for them to be in white, that means that the white box has to be false. The statement is as... I guess just the fact that it's false makes it not match how true the white box is, or the black box. Because if that box is true, and that box is just false by declarative, then you have true, true, false. But I don't... How do you just prove that the statement is not true? Or as true as the black box? How is that just a false statement? How are you supposed to get there? That is weird. Yeah, well, what's done is done, and I've now got less pressure for the next one. I stand by it should be it's in blue, because that does make sense of you have it is not in the black box, and then both of those statements are false. That should be... Wait. That, I see with the flaw in my logic. Because that would make this box a paradox. Because it can't be false is true. Meh. Struggle with paradoxes. I don't have enough for the trophy room. Take the bacon and eggs. There is still a chance that we could get weirdly lucky and get another wind-up key and fix the parlor thingy. But it's whatever. It's sad, but it's whatever. It's a little early for dining room, but it is our best option here. And I'm glad you guys still love me. This is day 41. At day 41, we've lost the parlor puzzle for the first time. What do you mean day 56? I think we'll get storeroom. It hurts not having the gems from the parlor, though. That's the real pain. Because I got so used to the guaranteed parlor. Man, can we not get pointed at the foundation today either? I guess we'll classroom here. I don't know if I want to sniff your critter. That was kind of a pointless apple to get. Oh, man, that is, like, actually the worst setup we could have had on that side. This is just a bad day. We got the library. That's about all the good that's come out of this day so far. Man. Yeah, this is just dead-ended. No, I don't still have the perfect streak. There's no way I'm keeping the perfect streak unless we somehow get a wind-up key from the closet, which I've never seen. I mean, I could re-roll the day. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do we cancel out this day, restart it? Restart without saving? Preserve the streak? Here, let me do a vote in chat. There we go. Well, I started the poll anyways. Go planetarium to see stars. More stars. I mean, we could end day in planetarium, but right now that's not going to matter if we just restart the day, which it looks like that's unanimous. I'm gonna wait until it's done to see. But I don't think we're beating 3 people on yes, restart the day. Show it the fear of task manager. That's a funny statement. I'll just go closet. Yeah, no wind-up key. Didn't think there would be. Alright. So now that is going to be task manager. Yep, come on. Close the right thing. And then play blueprints again. Mustang purrs louder. I think you've just got your volume down then. Enjoy your shower, Eternal. Alright, so we're back on day 41. I have heard Mustang many times. He is very loud. Alright, we're not going to worry about room 46 today. So we're not even going to go down the thingy. We will just toss coin in well, or in fountain, go get outside a room, and then head in. I guess we'll get schoolhouse again, do classroom run again. Random chance with digging with jackhammer. I knew there was a way, I just didn't know what it was. There is also the parlor upgrade that gives you 2 chances, but that's a waste. Banner of the King, we want blue rooms today. Kennel. We want to pet the puppy. Puppy pet. Pet. There you go. And then no shovel in here, so we'll have to come back for that later. This is a terrible place for dormitory. We could get a walk-in closet, or we could do the pantry. I think... Let's do the walk-in closet, get some items early. Where is the last item? There should be 4. Am I blind? Oh, it's a salt shaker. I thought that was like a perfume or something. Ballroom is not great. So that's a bad spot for a dining room, though. Do ballroom, I guess. Carla and Simon. Nope, nothing extra here other than that. Don't have enough gems for the vault. We'll get the breakfast nook. Do like security here. Check the state inventory. We left 5 coins somewhere. Where the heck would we have left 5 coins? Oh, right here. And then keycard system, keycard settings, change offline mode, unlocked, set security level low currently. Exit there. We could Black Bridge immediately, but I don't know if I want to do that. Because if we get lab, then we can Black Bridge to the shelter and unlock all the doors that way if we get the correct thingy. Yeah, That's why I'm saying I don't know if I want to do that yet. I don't know if anything is clip-worthy. I don't know if I want to go back to parlor so quickly. It's a terrible spot for it, too. Attic or coat check? Well, we don't have enough jumps for attic. I guess we'll do coat check. Retrieve item, take that. And that's why I didn't want to get lab unlocked for that yet. Enter experiment setup. Continue experiment. What are we going to be most likely to do? Because setting steps to 40 isn't bad if you get something that's common. Dice are nice, but I don't think it's worth. I think I'd rather set steps. Drawing room is only one room. Shop room has multiple. I think red is easier to do. So I think we'll do red room. Alright, that is just a funny happenstance with that one. I think I'd rather do weight room here, because we don't have the gems for aquarium. Archive is gonna suck in the longer run because it's so early. So we'll just start off with that. That knocks us down 31, and then we go back to 40. So we've already triggered the experiment once. Go ahead and open that, because why not? And then let's open this way next. We haven't seen a single classroom yet today. It's kind of weird. So conference room. So now any spread, we know where it is. Oh, one thing we can do is go back. If we go back, step into the ballroom and out, we then get our gems back. And there's the classroom we've been thinking about. So we'll do classroom here. Then before we head out, pop. And then we get our steps back up. Hi, Mustang. I think we'll redraw here. I'm not liking any of those. I do like library, but that's a terrible position for it. Actually, it's not that bad when we consider the rest of the space. think we'll do library. I forgot that since we restarted the day, we don't get our book yet. Oh well. Back through this way. Now I need to draw a red room. Ideally, I'd want that off of the conference room, I guess. Yeah. Well, let's do foundation next. Okay, I guess we've got only one direction we can go on the foundation. Use a key. Let's hope we get lucky with that conference room. Because if we go up and then over, we can possibly unlock the Chamber of Mirrors. I think this is going to be an exploratory day. So we'll step in, press the button. That presses the one across the way. Then we need to go across conference room. Utility closet will unlock that other door, but breakfast nook I think is the better option here. Okay, den I think is the way to go here. So we've got that. Press this button. That opens that one? How does work? I am confused by this thing. Okay, we got a key here. We got a key on the other side. That button lifts that one. Button lifts that one. Oh! This lifts the middle, apparently. You can't reach that button. Can this open? Yes, it can. Another key. A duplicate copy of one of the floor plans. I'll take a duplicate den. Den is nice. So it's those two. I'm now confused. I think that one down. This one up. This one. Coin. This one. Closet. No, I don't like closet. Alright, so we've opened all of them then. That only opens these walls, right? Yeah, not the other ones. What did these buttons do again? Open to that side. And we can't... That one opened this one. So we can't really use it effectively to get between them. But we at least got the thingy. We figured out what that room does. And it's not my favorite room, to say the least. We could freezer and start tomorrow pretty well. That would end our day. But I think I'll do billiards puzzle here. It's not looking like a good day, though, which is why I'm tempted by the freezer. Actually, given where we are in the stream, freezing now and starting tomorrow doesn't sound bad. What do you guys think? Because this is just not a good start for a classroom run. Tasted funny? Okay, we'll go funny. And then everything is frozen in here. Wait, I can break this open? I didn't even know this was a thing. Upgrade disk. Network servers are finally out of cold storage, or at least that's... or at least as many as we could fit into the surrounding walls of the grotto off the East Drive. Last few days have been very busy, but I'm glad I was able to take a short break from gardening to help Randolph install the network. It was, after all, the least he could do, since it was I who suggested the final location. We decided that we are going to store 2 unused servers here in Mount Holly's freezer. They should serve as readily accessible replacements should any of the primary consoles fail. Hey! We found the admin! So, we got something out of it. There's a letter in here. Alright, so then we need to go back. Where is our code check? Code check through security. Put our hammer back in the coat check. Power hammer. And then we go to this terminal here. Use our upgrade disk. What can we upgrade? Guest bedroom. What are the options? So we've got the guest bedroom, hidden effect of a random bedroom in your raft pool. We have the quest bedroom. If you enter the antechamber today, add 2 to your allowance. Or the Geist bedroom. If you have a tomb on the estate today, gain an additional 4. Geist bedroom is looking pretty good. Those reroll dice are pretty darn useful. I think we've got a high enough allowance that I'm not too fussed about raising the allowance. So I don't think I'm leaning towards quest bedroom. Toss. There we go. I saw the nice spot and I removed it. I think I'm leaning Geist bedroom. Alright, so we've got that done. Now we just need to go to the thingy. We'll go cuddle with the others. Now then, let's go see what that admin password does. I also already forgot what it was. Luckily, I took a picture. Revold. Reved. Wait, what? R-E-V-A capital D? This admin key has been deactivated. Okay. Danny. Oh, wait, hang on. So if it's Revan D, or Reva, so the first 4 letters of the last name plus the first initial. So then it would be Rand and then whatever the first initial is of his name. Do we have a screenshot of the journal? No, I did not. I might go look at the wiki for it. In the greenhouse there was a book. Or, actually no, in the orchard is probably the one that we'd want. Do we have enough steps. We could just go to the orchard. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to hit back into that. There we go. We'll go to the orchard, we'll check the name there. We should have enough steps for that. Gardener's logbook. So Robert Nogla. So N-O-U or N-O-G-U-R. What was... Are there any others? No. Okay, that was the last page. So we'll go try that name. Start logging down other names as we see them. I wonder... Because we're Simon Jones. Has ours been added? Has our name? We're guessing that the groundskeeper has been made an admin of this. So NGUR. No. Jim S. Admin not found. What was granduncle's name? I've already forgotten. It was, you know, it would say on the paper in the entryway. I don't remember. Because surely his would be one. Herbert Sinclair. So Herb S. No. H. Herb S. No. Did I misspell Sinclair? S-I-N-C. Huh. So his Revity admin key has been deactivated. So Randolph, what was his name? I doubt it would be backwards if it was deactivated. Yeah, no, neither of those are accurate. It's gonna be the Randolph name. It's gonna be something R, because I think Randolph is his first name. But I don't... I think Randolphs were in... No, because Randolph wouldn't be the gardener. So it's gonna be something in the office. I need to look for the name Randolph in the office. But I think that's all we can do today. I don't like that though. Because we're pretty close to the end of stream time. So I don't want to start another day. We could make it back to security and check the office thing through the terminal, through the Blackbridge thing. Because we didn't use that. But that's going to basically eat up all our steps, so that's not really worth it. What else can we do? Let me check. Greenhouse. I doubt it would have my name in it. Let me double check. I'm checking the wiki right now just because I've seen this book before. I just don't have good notes on it. Okay, so Denny was the original gardener. He's the one that wrote the original gardener's logbook that was in the greenhouse that we saw before. Then let's check. Office should have emails. I don't see any emails by Robert. We could try Anne Babbage, so BABBA. Oh, that one worked. So user database. Okay. So even if we had found his name, it would have been expired. Interesting. So I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. Tom K. So he's the lab technician. I believe he's the one that sent us a letter in the mail room. And then recent transfer from Sinka, former executive assistant to Herbert Sinclair, trusted with full admin privileges. Lab A, house manager, author of all personnel notes. So Roth was temporary administrator, servants' quarters, Baron's Ballet for 20 years, substituting for Mr. Moore until we find a suitable assistant admin. Oh, so he was the driver that got fired. He's gardener, or former gardener. Oh, freaking. Hi, thank you for the raid. How was your stream, Troublemaker? Did you have fun? Oh, that is a lot of emotes in chat. Flying all around. It was good. You yapped a lot. Very nice, very nice. We're gonna be wrapping up shortly, but we did just gain access to this terminal, so we're gonna be investigating it for a little bit. Because we've got the Blackbridge Grotto terminal open now. So we have all of the availabilities now. Who is more R? We didn't check that one. Lead system administrator, lab technician. Okay. So then we'll return to menu, exit, and try again. So let's start with more R now and start our way down the list. This is Blueprints. It's basically a giant puzzle box where you have to get to the 46th room of the estate in order to claim your inheritance. We've already done that, but we are still sorting through the puzzles this game has because it is a whole lot more than that. So yeah, more lowercase r followed by uppercase R. So network settings. Yeah, it is basically oops all puzzles. Terminal timeout settings. Control how long a terminal stays connected to the network without disconnecting from the server. Default settings are immediate. This requires a new connection each time user attempts to log into the network. We'll say 1 month timeout settings. And then electronic mail services. Turn on mailboxes for all places. And then... I mean, I just like puzzles. Logic puzzles are my favorite, though I did just mess up on a parlor puzzle for the first time today and it hurts. But it doesn't count. We restarted the game and it doesn't count. So inbound, outbound connections and electronic mail connections outside the local network have been temporarily disabled. Okay. But now all of those are on, so that's good. You don't see nothing. But still. User database just has everyone available. And there's 3 additional delisted keys, is what I'm noticing. Admin logs. More are. Last cables have finally been laid and the office terminal has been connected to the central network. Given the ever-changing nature of the rooms of the estate, we chose to install the server outside of the house to maintain connection stability at all times. A small cavern off the eastern drive was selected for the server site. All remaining computer terminals on the estate are now connected to the network mainframe, and we will now beginning testing remote access capabilities between them. I've also asked the Baron to come up with a name for the network. It ramps up in difficulty. It doesn't start fully difficult. It's a roguelike in a weird way. Because you do restart the map every day, but you get knowledge and like all sorts of other things to unlock different things. So you're never really set back to start. So it's tricky, but it's not necessarily difficult. You just kind of have to keep chipping away at it. After some deliberation, our network has been named Blackbridge, a somewhat ominous name for the project given the legend from which the term derives, though it's very fitting considering we chose an actual cave to house the mainframe. I only hope our servers do not suffer that same fate that befell those in the story. Yes, if you keep trying, you will figure it out. More regular maintenance report. I fixed a connection error that was occurring between the office and security terminal. We also have added electric mail capabilities to each terminal that could be accessed via the network. Recording capabilities of all cameras on the estate have been disabled. Additionally, the existing video playback functionality on the security terminal has been removed. And then they deleted logs. I feel like that one's important, so I'm gonna take a picture of that one. Whole bunch of deleted logs. As requested yesterday, new admin key created, though the requested name doesn't quite fit with our typical length formatting. Interesting. So something happened on that day. I wonder if there's an email somewhere for that. On 7/25/87. We'll have to check. Effective immediately, all electronic capabilities have been restricted and now can only be accessed via the office terminal. All other terminal inboxes have been archived and can only be restored via admin control, which we've done. Temporary access to the mainframe and Blackbridge Grotto have been restored to perform routine maintenance. Same thing. Updated access privileges for all account types. Admin access, full access to all features, personnel access, access to the user database, archive access, full access plus access to archived admin logs and deleted database entries. So we need to find someone that has archived access, but we don't know who that is yet. So I'm going to take a picture of that page too. And I definitely need to reorganize my notes, is what I'm realizing. Because there are too many screenshots now. Where our RTA is down while we work on a solution for the reported terminal connection failures. Probably in the archives? Maybe. That would make sense, because there is the whole arrow pointing to the center cabinet in the archives that I think has something to do with the X in the bedroom and in the laundromat. Because that's the puzzle in the aquarium. And this probably sounds like insane rambling to anyone who is not familiar with this game. RTA is working again. Terminal connections tested and confirmed functional. To make future testing easier, I have added ability to access offline terminals through the RTA when Blackbridge is open. More per request. One temporary admin key has been added to the network. Rat H. Temporary admin key deactivated. Rat H again. One new admin key has been added to the network. Tom K. Is that the other one that we have? Yeah, that's the other admin access that we have not checked out yet. Tom K added new data management features to the Blackbridge admin control, updated user database. More are changing the guard in preparation for Simon's arrival. Inbound and outbound messages, as well as off-site connections from outside the state, have been disabled per the instructions left by the Baron himself. Okay. So that's interesting. If we go look at Tom K's, will we see the same thing? We also haven't seen import trophy data. Using the Blackbridge system, you can import trophy data from other save files into the current profile. This is a convenient way to collect trophies in one file that may be impossible to get in a single profile. Interesting. Okay. I didn't even realize this game had multiple profiles. I might have an excuse to play this separately now, because this is going to be the profile for stream, and I could do a different profile that has other challenge stuff I'm fiddling with. I was not aware of that. Let's try the other password we had before we call it. So we need Tom K. Oop, that's not how you spell that. Welcome to Blackbridge. Same network settings. Same admin logs? Yes. Okay, these are the same admin logs. Turn to menu. If we do user database, he sees all the same people? Yes, he does. So I think that's everything. We now have something that we need to remember to check next time that we get security and lab. Because that now has emails. I think that's going to be for another day. That is interesting. We still have not found more of these microchips. But I just remembered, I think I actually know where one is, because I saw someone do a like, different kind of run, and they got one. So I think I know where one is. I might be able to get it next time if I remember it. Or... hang on, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would get us breakfast. Okay, no, so we can't get it today. But I think if we use the hammer, we should be able to get it. So we just need to make sure that we grab the hammer and get it next time. But that is an interesting challenge. We've made good progress today in a weird direction. It's definitely not where I thought we were going. But that just shows you how much this game actually offers. Have fun at game night 8-bit. So I think we'll call it a day here. Double check there's nothing else we need. No. Okay. Call it a day. Call it. We still need to get pump room next time. We still need to do the classroom setup. We still need to do... the emails is added to the list now. You know what? That's something I should do. I'm gonna show you guys what my notes look like, and we're gonna reorganize it a little bit before we call it a day properly. Because at this point, I'm gonna need to do something with this. Let's do... Let me also add... crop that. There we go. Alright, so this is currently what my notes look like. It's very disorganized. We're going to reorganize this a little bit. So I think first thing we're going to do is we're going to move some stuff to the side and clear up a bit more of a specific space. Because the very first thing I want on here is an actual to-do list. So we need to get to grade 8. We need to check this is Milanote. It is a note-taking software thingy? Not software. It's a website that allows you to make boards like this. So you can very easily move notes around and stuff, and it is super helpful for a lot of stuff. So we need to check office, not office emails, we need to check the security emails. Check shelter emails. Check lab emails. And then we need to set the water level of the reservoir is the other thingy we need to do. And we need water level of reservoir. How do you spell reservoir? I'm just gonna say set water level to 13, then 6. Because we need 13 to get the boat across, I think. And then we need to do 6 to get to the entry level thingy. Yeah, it is super useful for organizing shorts. Yeah, I've found taking my own notes does help a lot. I just need to organize my notes better. So I think that's correct for our to-do list. Did I forget anything? I swear I've forgotten something. Oh, we need to get power, hammer, and microchip from entry. I'll go ahead and say where that is. Investigate X in laundry room. Investigate X in bedroom. I think those are all the open ones we've got. Oh, burning glass for underground puzzle, for underground, and tomb puzzle. So I think that's a more accurate to-do list. And then we're going to create a board, and we're going to call this books. And anything that I get from a book is now going to go in there. And I think I'm going to count passports as books. I still don't... We still have this questions thing here that we've not... Because we still don't know who stole the Baron's mail. I don't remember where we even got that question from. And then we also don't know who RLCF is. What to-do list there? These... I need to reorganize this one entirely. This is mostly dates from the archive, but I think I need to just go back to the archive and take more pictures again, because I'd rather have pictures in our books thing. Maybe next stream is just we redo this entirely. Maybe that's the way to do it. Though I will admit, this one was entirely stolen off the internet, off some Reddit post that had the whole thing. Because this was back when I was working on the shelter, safe, and trying to figure out how to do that one. So that makes sense. The sigil book we just need to read. I'll probably have to make a proper family tree board, so we'll plan for a books board, we'll plan for a family board. And that'll go in the family board. Now if we go into here, you can see it's immediately put in there. Music sheets will stay on their own thing, I think. Or should music sheets go in book? I don't know which makes more sense for that. Because they're not quite books. They're kind of their own thing. Music loan? Yeah, that makes sense. We'll do that. This front page is going to be kind of our quick access page, I think. So this is our detailed stuff. So probably this one that has what is everywhere is going to stay here. I think that makes sense. Though we just have our handy dandy chessboard list here. The rest of the stuff is probably going to have to move around, though. Satisfactory got an update. Very nice. Alright, so that is good enough for right now. I think we'll leave that alone, because otherwise I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes here trying to sort this through. But do remind me next time we play this game that I should have my notes out and actually showing the process of updating my notes. Because there's a good chance that it'll have changed by the time we get back, because I'll be curious and end up, like, going and sorting through at least what items we already have pictures of. Because, yeah. Oh, that's another question. Do we put emails and digital logs under books? I feel like it kind of fits, because it's another written thing, but it's not quite a book. If that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know which way I'm going to go on that. Because I know I'm going to need a place to put them. Heck, I could make this thing publicly visible, I think. If If I hit the share button. Yeah, I can invite with link, and I can enable read-only and share, which I might do later. I might enable read-only for people who want to play Blueprints on their own and just use my notes. Though I feel like that might that might make it a little bit too silly. I don't know. I suppose I'm not one to stop people from checking the wiki and stuff. So I will keep that in mind. We will decide next time. I think current plan is put emails in with books. In fact, I can rename this to books plus emails. There we go. We don't have a bits section yet. But we can reorganize as we go. For now, let's figure out who we're gonna go raid. Oh, we have a Frank and a Fred. Do we want someone else playing Blueprints? But they're stored as bits? They're bits of written words? I don't know. Oh, I see someone who is doing first playthrough of the game. So don't give them away too much, but it's gonna be funny to see us late game to them early game. Let me make sure that their stuff is still running. I mean, I can just change the name to text. Anything that's text will be there. Though I didn't want to put music sheets in there. Yeah, I was worried about that. It looks like they're not streaming anymore. Did they stop? No, they're still going. They're still going. Okay. So we're gonna go and raid Good Brain. And it looks like it's their first time in Blueprints, so don't give them too much issue. And I will see you guys on when is my next stream? I have forgot. My next stream is on Thursday, and I am doing Backrooms Escape Together with Silver, Volky, and Victory. And I am pretty excited for that, because there is a new map in that one that we're going to go check out. And hopefully we'll also get to check out the event that they're doing for the Backrooms movie before it goes away. So I hope to see you guys there. Do Isnia!